under what is it in your module? What is a linear text? Okay. Now, this is the suggested answer. Linear text refers to traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to end, fully understood. This type of text has an order or sequence. Examples are novels, poems, short stories, letters, educational texts, and all those texts we read from the beginning to the end. Okay. Here are some examples of linear text. We have novels. Novels is an invented prose narrative that is usually long and complex and deals especially with human experience through a usually connected sequence of events. Examples: Lord of the Rings, Ulysses, Harry Potter, The Odyssey, and then for poems. It is a composition in verse. Examples: Annabel Lee, O Captain, my Captain, I wandered lonely as a child, and all things bright and beautiful. Okay. Number 3, short stories. It is an invented prose narrative shorter than a novel, usually dealing with a few characters and aiming at unity of effect and often concentrating on the creation of mood rather than plot. Examples: The Necklace, Lottery, Rip Van Winkle, The Scarlet. Okay. Number 4, educational text. We have different kinds of educational text. For example, essay. When we say essay, it is an analytic or interpretative literary composition, usually dealing with its subject from a limited or personal point of view. B. Articles. It is a non-fictional prose composition, usually forming an independent part of a publication. C. Researches. And then letters. It is a direct or personal written or printed message addressed to a person or organization. Now, what is nonlinear text? Alright, you may jot down this answer. As its name suggests, nonlinear text is non-sequential, which means that the readers do not have to go through the text in a sequential manner in order to make sense of the text. This type of text has many reading paths, which it is the readers who decide the sequence of reading, not the author of the text. Okay. Examples of nonlinear text include flowcharts, charts, and graphs. Example: pie chart and bar graphs. We have also graphical organizers such as knowledge maps and story maps. Okay. Now here are examples of nonlinear text. We have graph, like this one, and we have table, like this, and we have also flowchart, like this one. The idea here is flowing from this part up to the end. Okay. Number 4, we have also map, like this example, map of Canada. Number 4, under what's more in your module, here is an example of transcoding information through linear and nonlinear text. What is bullying? Bullying is repeated aggressive behavior that can be physical, verbal, or rational, in person or online. Bullies are often relentless, bullying over and over again for long periods of time. You may live in constant fear of where and when the bully will strike next, what they'll do, and how far they'll go. Under physical bullying, it includes hitting, kicking, or pushing you, or even just threatening to do so, as well as stealing, hiding, or ruining your things, and hazing, harassment, or humiliation. Under verbal bullying, it includes name calling, teasing, taunting, insulting, or otherwise verbally abusing you. Under relationship bullying, it includes refusing to talk to you, excluding you from groups or activities, spreading lies or rumors about you, making you do things you don't want to do. Boys frequently bully using physical threats and actions, while girls are more likely to engage in verbal or relationship bullying, but no type of bullying should ever be tolerated. Okay, now, here is the transcoded version. We have here physical, verbal, relationship, and at the middle here is bullying. Okay, activity-transcoding information. We have here a direction. Transcode the given linear text to non-linear text by filling in the chart below. Write your answers in your notebook. Alright, be ready to jot down the ideas here. Now, I'm not going to read this one. You just try to read this in your module, and then try to transcode this using the given idea. Okay, this is the continuation, and now we have here our suggested version, transcoded version. Here at the upper side, we have what is cyberbullying. Here at the center, occur anywhere. On the left side, uses digital technology to harass, threaten, or humiliate you. And on the right side, via email, text, social media, or IM to breaking into your email account. Okay, now under what I have learned. Now you are ready to share what you have learned. You are expected to write all the things you learned from this lesson. Directions, write your answers in your notebook. Okay. A linear text is. Now in your module, there is no answer here. So I'm going to provide you with the idea on how to provide your own answer. Okay. A linear text is a traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to the end to be fully understood. For a nonlinear text, it is non-sequential, which means that the readers do not have to go through the text in a sequential manner in order to make sense of the text, like charts, maps, and graphs. Number 3, examples of linear text are the following. We have novels, stories, news, letters, resolutions, agenda, project proposal, text messages, verses, project studies, thesis, memo, etc. Okay, now we have another one here. You are going to read this in your module, and then answer this one. A reading path is the part of a reading material wherein the eyes of the reader is focused in order to extract information. This is a practical idea that I have given you. This is not written in your module. Okay, number 5. I learned that, okay, be ready to jot down the idea here. I learned that there are 2 ways in providing information. One is through linear text, which requires the reader to read in the right sequence from beginning to end, like stories and news. And then another one is nonlinear text, wherein the reader does not have to go through the text in a sequential manner in order to make sense of the text, like flowchart or graph. Okay. And then what can I do? Now notice the directions here. Based from your experience on the COVID-19 pandemic, make a linear and non-linear text on how you make your home quarantine days productive. Write your answers in your notebook. Okay. Here is my suggested idea. My home quarantine experience is disgusting. I was required to stay at home at all times. I was not allowed to visit my classmates. I can't even play outside. It was a boring and sad experience. Alright, very short. Now, here is now the transcoded version. This is now the nonlinear text based from the given text. At the center here, we have home quarantine, and above we have cannot play. It is connected here at the center, and cannot visit classmates. Boring and sad, and on the left side is stay at home at all time. Okay. Now, for your assessment, Directions: answer the following questions. Choose the letter of the best answer, then write them in your notebook. Number 1, it is a text that is not read from beginning to the end. Okay. A, illustration. B, image. C, linear. D, linear. The correct answer here is D, non-linear. Number 2, it refers to traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to the end for further understanding. A, easy. B, linear. C, non-linear. D, speech. The correct answer here is B, linear. Number 3, it is an example of a linear text. A, chart. B, novel. C, graph. D, map. Correct answer is B, novel. Number 4, it is an example of a non-linear text. A, poem. B, short story. C, news article. And D, graph. The correct answer is D, graph. Number 5, the following are examples of non-linear text except chart. B, graph. C, map. D, verse. The correct answer is D, verse. Number 6, this type of text has many reading paths, since it is the readers who decide the sequence of reading, not the author of the text. A, illustration. B, linear. C, non-linear. And D, pictograph. The correct answer is C, non-linear. Number 7, it is a text which has an order or sequence. A, illustration. B, linear. C, non-linear. And D, pictograph. Correct answer is B, linear. Number 8, a fictional narrative shorter than a novel. A, essay. B, poem. C, speech. D, story. The correct answer is D, story. Number 9, it is a picture or diagram that helps make something clear or attractive. A, figure. B, illustration. C, image. D, pictograph. The correct answer is D, pictograph. Number 10, it is non-sequential text, which means that the readers do not have to go through the text in a sequential manner in order to make sense of the text. A, easy. B, linear. C, non-linear. D, speech. The correct answer is C, non-linear. Number 11, it is a direct or personal written or printed message addressed to a person or organization. A, essay. B, letter. C, poem. D, story. The correct answer is B, letter. 12, the answer is novel. It is an invented prose narrative that is usually long and complex and deals especially with human experience through a usually connected sequence of events. Okay. For number 13, it is a diagram that shows a step-by-step progression through a procedure or system, especially using connecting lines and a set of conventional symbols. A, chart. B, flowchart. C, graph. D, map. The correct answer is B, flowchart. 14, it is a diagram that represents the variation of variable in comparison with that of one or more other variables. A, chart. B, flowchart. C, graph. D, map. The correct answer is C, graph. 15, it is used to present similarities and differences of an object or idea. A, diagram. B, flowchart. C, graph. And D, Venn diagram. The correct answer is D, Venn diagram. Alright, I hope you have learned something in this video. Thank you very much for watching. See you again.